I want to share a personal story with you. Several years ago, it would have been 2 years ago, July, there was a horse person that I and my best friend, who has two miniature donkeys, knew. And she called us up out of the blue, actually, my friend first, and said, I've got a horse that is going to be euthanized in one day. She's going to be put down. Her herd mate, who was 35, it was end of life for her herd mate. And their owner was pushing 80, and it was just, she just couldn't bring on another horse, and horses are herd animals. They need other herd animals to thrive. So the horse was 20. I didn't know anything about the euthanization, but I had always wanted a horse. I was learning to ride, but I was by no means an expert. As a kid, I rode a lot, even helped my dad saddle break a neighbor's pony when I was about 6. I was the weight in the saddle for the saddle breaking. But a number of years had passed. But I thought, we already have a pasture that my friend is renting. Why not? I'll just, throw in a few extra bucks. Everything is here. Let's just bring on the horse. And as they say, don't look a gift horse in the mouth, right? She was free and magnificent when she came off the horse trailer and into the pasture. Just absolutely beautiful. Now, I would not have stepped into this most likely had this horse person said, you know what? I am so grateful that you chose to rescue this mare. She's an Arabian quarter horse mix, 14.3 hands. She is 22 now. She was 20 when I got her, but she had not been ridden in 10 years. I didn't know much about horses other than, wow, they're really cool. And I'm a Sag, so, kind of horsey, right? But she said, if you rescue this horse, it would be my pleasure to come up, 45-minute drive and help teach me how to work with a horse. And I thought, great, you've got the experience. You do a lot of riding. You do a lot of training of horses. That would be fantastic. Things shifted. About 2 weeks later, she had a chance of a lifetime job opportunity across the country, and she went for it. And I was so happy for her and just stood there. If you've never had a mare, and this is where my learning curve began, I didn't know much of a difference, obviously, other than the physical attributes when it comes to gender and taking care of the fertility, right? A gelding versus a mare. Their personality differences, much less a chestnut mare, much less an Arabian chestnut mare. I needed to learn to stand my ground, and I'm 5'8", and I'm solidly built. But when you have this mare coming at you with her ears down because she's not happy, having to stand your ground and at times need to physically move her away. I learned how to use my elbows. They're very helpful. But she could have hurt me at any moment in time. We had to build that level of trust. But I needed to gain the experience on my own of how to be the lead mare in the herd, right? The donkeys immediately got in line, which was also another dynamic. Understanding how to navigate, and they're both gelding donkeys, awesome boys. But the experience was, I didn't have the experience. I did not know that my horse was a hard keeper. I did not know how much hay to feed her, did not know that I would need to supplement with a senior nutrient-rich, calorie-rich, appropriate type of calories too, macronutrient-wise. But I need to learn this on my own. And sure, you can read books, and I have friends who are horsey people, but no one living nearby who could say, here's how you do this, and that's not a big deal, and yeah, she needs more food. Well, 2 years have passed, and my mare and I, even though I'm not riding her because it had been 10 years since she'd been ridden, so now it's 12 years, and frankly, we would need to do some lunge line training. We'd need to do a lot of training, she and I, to get her physically strong enough and for me to be physically strong enough, because that's a lot of core. Because when you're on their back, if you don't have the strength to keep yourself steady and riding the horse in the correct way, you can hurt your horse. And so right now she's a beautiful pasture pet. I doubt if I'll ever ride her. Who knows? And egoically, I don't see a need to ride her. I might be getting a gelding down the road at the right time. when I have enough acreage to support multiple horses. But right now I'm happy learning the ways of my horse. The reason why I tell you this story is expertise matters. Do you have the right experience on your team, not just to get the job done, but to turn around and mentor those who have less experience? Or did your experts walk out the door? Have they been retiring? And I bet they have. Having been in the traditional, typically I play in the HVAC and the building automation, the smart building systems integration, business systems integration, as well as building systems integration. That's my sweet spot. Processes, products, all of that, getting it to work together, data exchange. And I have more than 30 years experience in there. What I'd like you to do is think about, where is your team getting their experience? If you have it internally, great. Are you documenting it? Do you have the processes in place so that when your people do decide to retire or move to another organization, that you don't let that expertise go out the door? I can help you with those processes. I can help you with that documentation. But what happens if you don't have those experts in-house anymore? You can hire an expert, not as a core member of your team, but bring on a consulting engineer such as myself. And we can bring in that expertise, bring in that experience. And if you already have a consultant, that's fantastic. If you don't, please reach out to me. Either leave me a message with this video, or send me an email at info@sharondingus.com.